And we're back with another episode of the Cosmic Crossfire.
You made that
This is
sound
Gerald.
like a lava lamp, like hippie transition-y, like euphoric experience.
Something like that. Well, you got to hear the theme song. So, this is Gerald Glassford once again from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast. And I'm here along with my good friend, the man, the myth, the legend behind Rob McCallum Films and RobMcCallumFilms.com. A great part of Tiny Titan Studios, and an all-around awesome guy, and newly engaged, man. I just want to say congratulations on the air. It's Rob McCallum.
It's me. Thank you, my friend. Very exciting Canadian Thanksgiving. Got down on the old one knee as the bird was cooking upstairs, and asked my girlfriend to marry me, and she said yes. So that's good stuff.
Well, that's awesome indeed. That's just the way you planned it when you were planning out the movie. Shoot out the movie here, edit the movie here, direct, choose, all right, cut, editing floor, engage. There you go.
Yeah.
So something like
yes.
that. Well,
it's a long plan. Yes, that's exactly it.
Yes.
Gerald's referring to the fact that my girlfriend was part of a documentary that I did on Kitty, and he thinks this is part of some grand scheme.
Well, I was just saying it's, I was watching some documentaries behind the scenes of Blade Runner 2049, and they had all the storyboarding up on there, as I'm sure you did probably as well for Unearthly, which you should catch on DVD whenever you get a chance. But, I just see you mapping that out as far as for the Kitty documentary is concerned. But we will continue from there. But there's a lot of other great things that I'm going to have Rob mention as far as coming up in his plate as well. But because there's so much when it comes to Rob McCallum. But we've got a lot of great topics to delve into. So take her away, my friend.
Well, there's a lot of news to discuss. Thanksgiving weekend wasn't only filled with news of my engagement. There was obviously some Star Wars news that we'll get to in just a minute. Gerald may be donning the shirt, maybe not. Maybe his room is full of Star Wars memorabilia and merchandise prominently displayed for camera. There are two other smaller bits I want to get to first, and then we'll leave the rest of the show to discuss Star Wars, and that way we can rein it in. First, Disney has canceled. Disney Animation has canceled their upcoming take on Jack and the Beanstalk called Gigantic. Gerald, are you familiar with this film?
I only read a little bit about it because obviously it didn't, and that's probably why it didn't, meet the standards of what Disney was looking for. I don't think it was really on the radar of a lot of people. And the last Jack and the Beanstalk fairing, that live action, the one with Ian McGregor and all that, that didn't fare so well, and that had a big hefty budget behind it. So I think maybe Disney didn't feel any warmth from the general audience out there, and I think that's maybe why they pulled the plug early. And kudos for them for not, for being able to recognize these things before they started to really snowball.
Well, before I tempted to go down the rail of attacking Disney for not pulling the plug on so many other properties of theirs and pulling the plug on this one, you would think with their animation division and the chops and the resources and the people they have involved with that, they'd find a way to make that work and just keep it in the development cycle. But it is completely done, shelved, and pulled out of active development altogether. The Disney spin on Gigantic was that it was going to be a giant princess of sorts that was the giant instead of a grizzly old ogre looking guy, and she meets a small Jack. So there's a bit of a romance angle there, kind of like the way that Tangled played out, but instead of Rapunzel, you get this giant girl at the top of the beanstalk that Jack climbs. I think the premise is interesting enough. I think Disney, with the last few animation successes, Tangled and Frozen, could have pulled something out there. I thought that would have been a nice third entry. But it got me thinking, when is the last time we've heard like a major project of this level really get shelved and canceled? I can't think of anything that high profile. Even animated films that take 5 years usually when they announce the logo and have a press conference, as they did at one of the D23s, I don't recall too much getting shelved except for maybe like a Tron sequel. And I think that development even got pushed towards the Tron animated series. So I don't know.
It's hard for Disney. I know there's been some other projects that have been shelved, even as come to early parts of shooting where projects have been shelved or changed or completely altered in some form or fashion. Even sometimes on rare occasions where you see it stop and completely rebooted in a different fashion. But when it comes to Disney animation, you're right. It's just a machine as far as usually from point A from point to point Z. Now, Disney Animation has not had the success of Pixar, notwithstanding Frozen. Tangled was something that, if you look at the overall numbers, box office wise, did okay, but it really didn't garner the huge numbers anywhere near what Frozen did.
But it won an Academy Award as well, and let's not forget Bolt.
Let's not forget Bolt, but So. But they've clearly not been able to score as many hits with their animation series as of this century than what Pixar has done.
Moana was pretty huge.
Moana?
Yeah, Moana. Whatever it's.
All right, but they don't seem to have the same leash for this as Pixar does as far as what they can do and what they can
I don't know. Like,
shoot
should we start picking apart Pixar and Cars 3 and Planes and their sequelitis that they're going through? Because they haven't had the greatest track record either. The Good Dinosaur was a disappointment at the box office. The Incredibles 2 is the only kind of high point on the future spectrum for me in terms of what they might roll out.
Oh, I'm hopeful for Coco. I will tell you, Coco to me.
No.
Well, no. You may not be feeling it, but I am, as someone who hopes for the best as far as a positive representation of the Hispanic culture within the movie.
It feels like a knockoff of the Book of the Dead, which was pretty successful at the box office already.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, I don't know why that they seem to go. Like you said, it seemed like a nice little third piece in that Triple Crown as far as the solid Tangled, obviously the extremely well performing Frozen, and then hopefully following up with something like this. But maybe they want to go into a different direction. I'm not sure. But again, it's always about what can they do afterwards. Frozen has been able to obviously been able to do very well afterwards with an afterlife of merchandising and also as well a TV show on the Disney Channel. Frozen, has continued to garner a lot of attention, and a Frozen 2 hopefully will not be too far behind for a lot of kids while they can still sing.
I'm so glad you added for a lot of kids.
Well, for a lot of kids. I know my girls they're at the age where they still could enjoy it, but if you get them any older, they probably would lose their focus and attention on Frozen 2 if it should come out too far down the line, because you want to make sure you still capture that audience that enjoyed and embraced that Frozen, because you never know what you're going to get if you try to introduce a new audience to something that was very beloved by a certain generation.
Gerald, let it go. Let it go.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I went that far. You know the words. Don't kid me. Don't tell me you don't.
No, I only if you knew them first.
Well, I just sang some. There you go.
There you go.
Go. Yeah. Keeping with the animated theme, Batman the Animated Series is finally getting released on Blu-ray.
Better late than never.
In 2018. This seemed to get a little bit of buzz today, and when I read the news and people were talking about it in the office, and it's nice that a series like this, which has such a cult following, and it holds a really high place among Batman fans in terms of iterations of the Caped Crusader. It reminded me, though, of the early 2000s when seemingly every kind of show was spellbound on hitting DVD release. Every series from television that you could imagine was suddenly coming out with DVD box sets. The Simpsons was flooding the market as fast as they could every 6 months with season 1 or season 2, part 1, and so on and so forth. Family Ties,
South
Greatest
Park.
Hits, South Park. Like every single television show you could think of was hitting DVD, including Batman the Animated Series, which is streaming for free on Amazon Prime right now, I believe. So if you want to check out the animated series there, you can check it out. There's 85 episodes, so I don't think it will include the new adventures of Batman and Robin, or, of course, any of the Justice League stuff, which is a continuation of that story, or Batman Beyond, also a continuation. But is there any series that you think that needs to be released that hasn't been? And are we past the point of a physical media release?
No, we're not past the point of a physical media release because it's still at an affordable price a lot of people like and enjoy. I think once 4K Blu-ray comes to fruition as far as full-blown, full blast out there, now that starts to get pricey because they're selling a lot of 4K Blu-rays around 20, 25 a pop. And that gets out of the realm of what most people like to pay. But if it still stays with DVDs around 7 to 10, Blu-rays around 10 to 15, those ranges people are willing to go ahead and fork over the extra money and actually put into it because they like usually what those Blu-rays and DVDs will hold as far as extra features, bonus features. But if you start charging them $25 just to give them 4K, I'm not sure. That's where it gets the point to be where it's probably not in the best interest of maybe keeping it on a physical format if it has to be that much spending.
Well, there's been no special features or extras released whatsoever. Nothing announced in terms of the Batman animated series on Blu-ray, so it could just be bare bones, just 85 episodes. And given that there's 85 episodes, which rings in close to 30 hours of content, you're gonna probably be paying $50 to $60 for it on Blu-ray. I can't imagine it being less than $50, $49.99.
I can't agree. I can't see it either, and that's going to be a problem for only for everyone outside the hardcore collectors fans. It is a great series, and what I like best about the Batman the Animated Series is how well thought out these storylines are, how much care went into it, the voice acting behind it, the quality of the voice acting, and just the sheer quality that went into that series as opposed to many other series of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s that really have not, met up to par with what that series was all about.
Well, I'm very eager for it, and I, like you, as a collector, I love the physical releases. I love Blu-rays still. What's going to sell me is the extra features probably on this, given that I can stream it anytime, given that I have it on DVD already. As much as I want that Blu-ray quality, like the DVDs are pretty good considering it aired in 480p. Like, how much better is it going to get? And the thing with animation, sometimes when it's transferred to Blu-ray, the quality seems lesser because you can see the cells in motion, you can see the colors don't match, it doesn't blend. Sometimes you need that fuzzy 480p look to blend things together, because that's what the series creators were working with when they were color timing and putting it together and putting it through production. So this is almost cheating a little bit, but I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for this series.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, first thing I said when I came out of watching Blade Runner 2049 is I can't wait until I get a quality Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray of this film, because it's going to be something I want to keep and watch and go back to many times in the future because of how beautiful the film is and how well it was shot. So, and how great it sounded as well. So, I mean, for me, a physical release still means something as far as top quality films you want to experience in the best fashion possible.
Well, I saw some of Josh's comments on Blade Runner 2049 on Facebook, so I have an idea of that, and I encourage all our listeners to make sure they seek out the segments where you and him go back and forth and discuss it, whether it's on this show or an upcoming one. They can't miss it.
Well, I will tell you this, that I do have a review up already on popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. Had a frog in my throat there. And I also did want to tell everyone out there that I praise the film as being the film of the year so far to this point. It is truly an incredible experience. Could it be a little bit shorter? I think it could be. It would make it even a tighter, more awesome film. But still, 90% of it was truly far and away the best experience I've had in watching a film this year by far. Josh, who doesn't love the original as much as I do, loved this film even more than I did, and he actually was quoted on Facebook and Twitter saying, or quoted on Facebook, saying that this was close to a perfect film for him. So I mean,
well, there you go. I mean, you guys are truly in the minority apparently in terms of reception of this film, because it is not getting favorable reviews out there by any means.
I'm seeing quite the opposite. I'm seeing
tons of people that do not like it, that are looking at box office returns, that are saying it is not good, that it is way too long. I haven't seen it.
Otherwise.
I don't know the verdict. I do not really like the first film. I will see this for the visuals alone. I don't know.
I disagree with you, because I see all over trending on Twitter, Facebook. I see reviews all over the place from 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Yahoo,
out of 100
IGN. I mean,
5 out of 100.
No, 5 stars, 5 stars out of 5 stars. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's got a very, very strong rating on both.
It must be that Canadian American conversion that I'm seeing here. That something's getting lost.
I sadly disagree with you on that one.
I haven't seen it, so I have nothing against it. I have no dog in this race at all.
I'm just telling you that my social media.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
I'm just telling you.
I'm just telling you.
Just telling you.
I'm just telling you.
Just telling.
I'm just telling you. I don't want to get into it. I'm going to forward all my social media over to you as far as everybody that's saying, because I think that's a little petty. But I'm just telling you honestly that I'm seeing a lot of great things from the film. Yes, I'm seeing some. It's a little bit too long.
You're going on Blade Runner 2049 fan sites.
But no, I'm not. I'm going on a regular 20. You just have to go to Twitter and type in Blade Runner 2049, and you'll just
hashtag superfan.
No hashtag anything. No, I think you just want to hate on the film because you want to hate on the film. But I'm telling you,
I'm actually just having fun getting you going and getting your gears grinding here. That's what I'm having fun with.
You're not getting me going in the least. I can just.
Okay.
I got proof. All I know, I could show you 24 reviews right now at the top there.
I'm glad I haven't got you going. I'm glad I haven't got you going, but you've got 24 reviews ready to go.
I could send them right over. Anyways, including my own.
Okay.
And I have a feeling on the PCC multiverse that Josh is going to praise it as well. But
I'm glad you guys like the movie. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's good or not.
I see it. I'd really say see it in IMAX, but it's probably going to be off IMAX theaters pretty quickly because of Geostorm and some other,
Yeah, what is that bundle of crap I saw advertised, by the way?
Geostorm? Yeah, that's
my goodness.
That's called a cash grab. So, that's
what a pile of dog poop that looks like.
But they make money.
Like I heard somebody today on the bus saying, "Oh, I'm so excited for Geostorm." I'm like, tell me that's not a movie. That is like, even just hearing people talk about it makes me queasy.
Anyways, is Gerard Butler going for a paycheck. That's all it is.
It looks like another big blockbuster action film where he gets to be the hero of the day. So good for him.
Edge of Tomorrow, San Andreas, just another disaster film.
Is Edge of Tomorrow? I thought that was the Tom Cruise one.
No, Day After Tomorrow. Day After Tomorrow. I'm sorry.
There you
go.
After Tomorrow. Yes. Jeez, you've watched too many Blade Runners. You're a replicant at this point. Yeah, there you go. Okay, moving on to definitely some maybe good movie territory. Star Wars: The Last Jedi. First, before we dive into the trailer that premiered at the halftime show for Monday Night Football, let's talk The Last Jedi posters. Now, we'll go theatrical version first, and we can discuss the IMAX poster after. First, theatrical poster. There's a lot of floating heads here. This has been part of the Star Wars tradition of marketing. Has it run its course? How important is this for continuity, given how bastardized this, triangular formation of characters is for so many other series that, pilfer it?
Well, for something like this, it's just all about the actors and stroking some egos on that one, because, all it really has to say is this and The Last Jedi, and that's all we need. Most of us
pointing to your Star Wars shirt for everybody listening.
Pointing to my Star Wars shirt and The Last Jedi right there, just the logo. That will get people in the door right now, because Star Wars as a franchise is at the point.
I agree, 100% agree. So if that's the case, then why do we need the floating heads?
Like I said, it's just stroking the
But
actors.
Do we need the floating heads?
No.
This is what I'm saying. Like, there's a continuity in Star Wars ever since the special editions. You know, you could say that we've had these floating head triangular formations on all the posters, and it's continued from episode 7 and now episode 8. I think Rogue One was the same. And
it goes back further. It goes back further, you know, to the prequels.
Yeah, well, that's why I said starting with the special editions in '97 and whatnot, and then the prequels and so forth. But if any series can break new ground on a new marketing strategy and campaign, surely it's Star Wars to try something a little bit different. If they can just put the logo on there in the title, that should be enough. Like, why wouldn't they experiment a little bit more? I like the teaser that they did, the teaser poster with Rey, and it's kind of pulled back with Luke and Kylo Ren, cut between the energy of the lightsaber. I thought that was really smart. I was hoping that would be the final one. It's subtle, it's graphic, it's different. Then came the poster that everybody was expecting. Snooze fest. I get it if you've got enough wall space to have them all around, it's going to look similar, but snooze fest, no offense, Jay.
Yeah, so just what I was going to say. I was going to maybe, like, it's on Star Wars' Facebook site for no less than a minute. Jay has it already, like, shared, you know, right there.
Of course. And him and I were trying to find a way to connect today to talk about the trailer. Just didn't quite line up yet. But yeah, and then, interestingly enough, the IMAX poster for The Last Jedi got released, and that was met with some interesting snickering and some questionable looks. This is something that is a very painterly approach. It looks like an oil canvas, maybe acrylic. And
with
it's
her in the distance.
Yeah, her in the distance, and Luke looking on, like a little bit over Luke's shoulder on, I think it's the Isle of Man is where they filmed. But this Jedi temple outpost island thing. And it looks like a drastic departure from anything we've ever seen in a Star Wars poster.
Thought you were going to say Jurassic Park look.
No, drastic, not Jurassic. It's a drastic departure. There's a tongue twister for you.
But I enjoyed it. I like that other one better too. The IMAX poster. It looks, like you said, it's much more art worthy.
Yeah, I don't know that it fits. I prefer the teaser to all of them, and then the official theatrical release second, which isn't a bad poster. The composition is nice, and I really like the red and the white and the black and how it blends together. But yeah, not feeling that IMAX one, unfortunately.
Really, I thought it was much nicer than the bobbing heads, you know, because like you said, we see the heads all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't, like, I appreciate that they went for that different kind of look. I just don't think they nailed it for me. But, you know, art is in the eye of the beholder. All right, finally, moving on to the trailer everybody was waiting for, The Last Jedi. The official trailer for it, whether we get a second one or it's just going to be a series of television promos at this point, we don't know. There was a lot of concerns about spoilers. There was a pre-trailer teaser that went out to try to rope people in. There was concerns about it not showing enough story or more story. Is it going to be too confusing? How much do they got to give away?
Even the director said not to watch it at first.
Yeah, Rian Johnson said, you're going to want to avoid this. There's too many spoilers, which in some ways just re-emphasizing, oh, I better watch this. You know, tune into ABC, a Disney-owned company, on Monday Night Football to get those ratings up to watch the Star Wars trailer. Like, and when you think about it, Disney's really got that market cornered, right? They pick Monday night, the slowest television night, and the one thing people are all going to watch is Monday Night Football. And then on Monday Night Football, you premiere the Star Wars trailer, so you get everybody else poured in for a pretty nice ratings fest on a Monday night for your television company to promote your film division, which is really smart. Corporate synergy. What did you think of the trailer? Was it too spoiler heavy? And first of all, isn't that the definition of the trailer? To reveal content that's in the film? Everything that's in a trailer, of every trailer, is a spoiler.
Well, all I would say to you is, how would you do it first? Before we go into it itself, we have some time to, how would you go into cutting that trailer first? And then I'll give you my thoughts on the actual trailer itself.
Well, I don't know that I have enough information to answer that, because
let's say you wanted to do it for Unearthly. let's say you wanted to, you were doing a special edition of Unearthly, and people that weren't familiar with, you could go ahead and play around with it. What would you want to go ahead and show them as far as that's concerned in let's say a 2-minute type of trailer teaser format?
Well, I would want to set up the bare bones of the plot so people understood the concept of the film, who the players are, and what's at stake. I don't know that this trailer did that. I think we see familiar faces that are dependent upon people seeing The Force Awakens. I don't think the crux of the story is there. I think we know that there's some sort of conflict between Luke and Rey and Kylo and Kylo and Leia. But we don't understand how all these pieces are set up and how everything is moving towards that unified thing, object, storyline, or goal. And I think that's a problem.
Well, when it comes to the Star Wars universe and it comes to The Last Jedi, I mean, we're always going to expect something with going on with Snoke, with Kylo Ren, with all that going on. And I don't know, you can't tell what's going on, because if you're slick enough or if you're experienced enough watching these trailers, you understand that what is being shown or what is being listened to on screen, as Rob once again rakes his beard across the coals of the earbuds. All right. All I can tell you is, you and I both know, as experienced, people dealing in the film industry, whatnot. It's almost like a shell game of you think something's obvious and it's really not. We could pretty much tell that a lot of that dialogue is it's told at different points of the time in the movies than what's actually being shown. So is Kylo Ren actually going to blow up his mothership? Is he actually getting ready to do it? Most likely, from what we've seen in past trailers in the history of Star Wars, especially recent times, dictates no, that will not be the ultimate outcome. Could be different. We'll have to wait and see. But at least that first part, when it first opens, as far as the dialogue is concerned, and alludes to Snoke maybe talking to Rey instead of Kylo Ren, we can pretty much figure out that that's not the case.
I have a feeling that a lot of the footage in there and thoughts and dialogue are pulled from dream sequences or meditation sequences or some sort of other way of communicating that.
We didn't even see the casino planet as far as anything going on from that realm, which was so hyped up in the Entertainment Weekly pictures and posters. And
I don't even know about that. I've really stayed away from it. I was really trying to just limit myself to the trailer and any kind of big pieces of news. And I mean, it feels like Finn is thrown in there. Like, you try to tell me what his storyline is based on the images you see, or what Poe's doing, and your guess is as good as mine. They feel like throwaway characters, and if that's the case, are you just throwing them in there to have like a token, 3-second cameo in the trailer? Or would you rather to take more time to develop the story and like showcase how big this is going to be and what's going on?
And Finn getting hurt and debilitated in The Force Awakens means absolutely zippo, because we know he's going to be fresh as a daisy come at some point in time in the movie in The Last Jedi, which is kind of disappointing, because I like that part where is Finn going to actually still come back and be okay, give that kind of suspense. But you've already broken that suspense for us already.
Yeah, and if we are thinking about The Force Awakens, there was this big kind of shakeup between Finn and Rey, and how they were almost like a 1-2 punch in terms of like joining the Resistance and being that new like Luke and Han kind of dynamic. But in this trailer, Finn is relegated to like such a background performer that only stands out by knowing his role in The Force Awakens, that I don't know that he's going to have anything cool happening going forward. Maybe his time in this part of the saga is over in terms of like his significance.
And that's a shame, because I actually really enjoyed his character.
Well, we don't know. That's the thing. We still don't know. I don't think the trailer was super spoilery. Rey reaching out to Kylo's hand and asking him to help to understand, that could be like legitimate. That could be at the very end of the film.
I think it was 2 scenes, different scenes cut from one another.
Yeah, I was trying to look at the lighting between their faces to see how much it matched and how much it didn't match. I mean, they obviously want us to feel like it's the same scene, whether it's cut apart or not. The stuff that really bothers me is Luke's dialogue that's interrupted by like 3 or 4 shots where he says, "This is not going to turn out." Pause, 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 pause. The way you think it is, because it feels like such an obviously forced edit on that part. Like, just let it play out and let the images like do the work. And again, another space battle. We knew that was coming. Not too much in the way of lightsaber duel, though. That was interesting that they kept that back. I wonder if they're going to have a saber battle or if it's going to be a strictly force-driven thing. We get to see Snoke, though, which is kind of cool, and how that's revealed. And is he attacking Rey or is he attacking Kylo? Is there any attack, and what is the deal?
I know it looks like it's also going to go more into depth as far as how Luke went into hiding and how Kylo Ren went bad and how Snoke influenced Kylo Ren into becoming part of the First Order.
Well, yeah, it seems that like when Luke says, "I've only seen this kind of strength once before and it didn't scare me," flash back to, we see like Luke's hand coming up from the rubble, this temple or place of training in ruin, which coincides with the Force Awakens vision where R2 and Luke are together, and the place that seems to be on fire or destroyed. So there, maybe that's this part of the same vision or flashback. But yeah, I don't know. There's nothing kind of like epic about Luke in this one either. Like, it's what's interesting is like it's the hero, and they're playing the refusal to the call card, where he won't turn, he won't turn. He won't do it. He refuses it. He pushes it away. So it'll be interesting to see what gets Luke to overcome that hurdle and that obstacle.
I'm very interested to see how this all lays out. But yes, it did not show me some of the things that I wanted to see more of, or at least get a taste of. There are new characters who were introduced in other form or fashions, again, through the Entertainment Weeklies and obviously to D23 and all that, D23 and all that, but that were not still in the trailer or have yet to be shown in a trailer so far. So that was kind of disappointing as well. But then again, like I said, it all comes down to what is Star Wars basing itself on: the familiarity of Rey, Ren, Luke, all that intertwined. And then Leia, obviously, of course, at the end, doesn't say anything, but obviously her presence is still felt very much, at least in this form or fashion, with The Last Jedi. If we're, obviously going to be the last time.
Yeah, so I don't think it's spoiler heavy. I think it's done exactly the kind of job that it's supposed to do. It's getting fairly positive reactions online. The memes are starting to come out now, which is pretty hilarious. I like it just as much as I liked all the other main trailers for Force Awakens. I wasn't a huge fan of the teaser trailer for Last Jedi. I mean, it hasn't swayed me to see it more. I'm not more excited than I was before it.
And that's what it's not going to get anybody new in the theater, because it's still, everybody's going to go into the theater and watch it. I think it's just a reminder. It was meant for the fact that Monday was the official start of tickets going on sale. I think the trailer was just a reminder that, hey, tickets are on sale now. That's pretty much what it was down for. In fact, the entire weekend, as I was talking about with Josh, where it included the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta and the TNT devoting its entire weekend to the Star Wars films, leading into the Monday premiere of the trailer and the Monday night of tickets going on sale. That's all intertwined with, like I said, tickets going on sale. And I think that's what it was all about.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. Tickets going on sale now. I know down here we've held off on getting tickets because we're trying to arrange a private event like it's been orchestrated the last few years here with The Force Awakens and Rogue One. So we're hedging our bets on that happening. And if that doesn't happen, then I'll just wait to whenever we can see it.
I will tell everybody out there, don't go to Fandangos and online services. Go to your local theater. Walk right up, because I still remember the time when The Force Awakens, they did the trailer and tickets were available now, and all the sites were overloaded as far as ticket, Fandango, whatnot, and I simply just drove up to my local theater, walked in and with nobody wait in line bought the tickets for the first showing of the Force Awakens. So if you really want to play it smart, just walk up and go. Or next time you go to the theaters, there should be plenty of tickets available, because as you and I both know, 4,000 plus tickets, 4,000 plus theaters here in the U.S. I'm sure thousands more in Canada, thousands more across the world. There's going to be plenty of show times available to you to get your tickets on. Don't succumb to scalpers or anything that tried to happen last time. Believe me, if you want to see it, you'll definitely want to get a chance to see it early if you so choose.
There's going to be, like, knowing the multiplexes around here, there's usually 8 to 12 screens, and I think we have 6 in town here in London, Ontario, and I can guarantee most of those, half of them will be filled with Star Wars. Now the runtime will be interesting. I'm probably going to peg it around 2.5 hours, which is usually typical runtime. So they'll probably start every half hour. So by the time that the third or fourth one's done, that first screening can start again.
Well, it also as well, there's also going to do special things like the Force Awakens. They're doing a double header with the Force Awakens. They're also doing some theaters are doing marathons of the entire 1 through 7 filmplex. Sorry, Rogue One, and putting that together in a marathon format as well. So if you're interested in doing that, you can check your local theaters as well. Go to your local theaters and check with them first. If you want to go online, go for it. But you remember, you're always incurring an extra price, and it's so expensive to go to the movies these days. Make it an experience. Save that money for all the good stuff that you can get when you're there, like extra popcorn and stuff.
Extra popcorn. That's what you need those extra shekels for, the popcorn. That's
it's
great.
better than paying Fandango price, right?
Oh, there you go, Fandango. But they're in business for a reason. And I don't know if I've used Fandango. I think I have through Regal.
I have, but I see the price every time, especially when you're buying a family of 4. They get a cut each and every time. So, do you think about it? If I could have just gone down to the theater and bought those tickets right away, or gone, when it's convenient for me, you got 2 months. You can do it.
You got 2 months. Well, there you have it. That's the Cosmic Crossfire once again for the Pop Culture Cosmos.
Pop Culture Cosmos.
Talk Disney canceling Gigantic, their animated take on Jack and the Beanstalk, Batman the Animated Series hitting Blu-ray, Last Jedi posters across the board, teaser theatrical on IMAX, and of course our thoughts on the Last Jedi trailer and whether trailers actually spoil or not, or if that's exactly what they're intended to do, or maybe they're just intended to galvanize advanced ticket sales nowadays. Let us know your thoughts on Twitter, Facebook, and of course anywhere else that you see us getting posted.
Absolutely. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com, Pop Culture Cosmos on Twitter, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter. And if you want to come back, bring Jay. I know you said you two were trying to coordinate something. Please, you guys are always welcome. We could do, with the magic of Google Hangouts, we can be able to hook something up. How about that?
A trifecta, huh? Well, he loves talking Star Wars, so...
Really? I never noticed that.
Yeah, I know. Maybe you'll be able to twist his lightsaber into action.
I'll see what I can work up. So, if you're there, just the banter between you two makes it all the more special.
Well, la-di-da.
Indeed. Rob, as always, it's been a pleasure, and getting ready to cook up some more pop culture topics for next time on the Cosmic Crossfire.